It's rainy, it's drizzly, it's perfectly fall. And so it's definitely time to start the chili rotation. I know you do it too. There are so many types of chili, right? And we all have our own type and they're all the best and no one else is as good. This is completely different. It's a black bean and squash chili. It's kind of one of my favorites because it's just slightly different. It also incorporates things of the season. I'm using the last of my garden's peppers. I actually just ran out and got them. Using some carrots that I already dug up. So it's kind of using things that you have, hopefully squash, and if not, you can find it everywhere. That's what I love about fall. So to start, instead of just using canned black beans, I love to use dry beans. So I soaked these black beans overnight. You can tell that they soaked because they're just starting to open up and their skins are just slightly coming off. So I drained them and now I'm just going to start cooking them. They need to cook slightly separately. Acid, things like tomato juice, can actually inhibit the cooking and they won't ever soften really. So it's best to start them separately in just some water. I'm using chicken stock. I always think it's better to cook some beans in a little bit of stock just because it gives them a little bit extra flavor. So I'm gonna let the lid on, gonna let those cook. And while those are cooking, we can get the other components ready. So any chili has different components in it. And like a lot of chilies, this has some pepper. What's a little different is the carrot. I just think it adds a nice flavor underneath, just kind of amps up everything. They're a type of poblano pepper. I love them. You can use any pepper you like. If you just like bell peppers, want one with no heat. I like one with a little bit more depth to it. These are just one I really like and there's what my garden has a lot of right now. And then of course, onion. You need a little onion, or in my case, usually a lot of onion, but what I love about chili, you can kind of tailor it to what you want. So I'm gonna chop up the onion and then work on the peppers and the carrots and get everything ready to go. So I've chopped up my onion, my pepper, my carrot, and now I just wanna start slowly cooking it. My beans are cooking away, so it's kinda nice that you can overlap some of these. So I'm just gonna turn the heat on slightly of this Dutch oven. I'm gonna turn it on a little bit more medium-low. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in it, just because I want enough that it starts to saute the onion with the carrot. So we're gonna put a nice layer there in the bottom, let that heat up just a little bit here. I have my onion here. I'm gonna put it right into the oil. I'm gonna stir that around. Making a soup, making a stew, anything that goes into a stock pot is all about layering those flavors and trying to get them to kind of layer on top of each other and cook at different times. So here, I'm not necessarily trying to brown the onion. I don't want to caramelize the onion. I'm putting on a little bit of salt just to help kind of bring some of that water that's in an onion out. And you can already hear it start to saute. And while that's cooking, I wanna let that carrot cook with it, because carrot, for one, it takes a while to cook, but I also want it to soften. You don't want big, hard chunks of carrot in your soup. So I'm gonna add the carrot, and I'm gonna wait on the pepper just a little bit, and then while the carrot and the onion are sauteing together, I'm gonna actually work on the squash. So as you know, squash can kind of be a bear or kind of hard to work on. There's not necessarily an easy way, especially when you want it to stay in pieces, which I do. I want it to be kind of the star of the soup, and I want to notice it. So the only way to start really with something like this is to peel it. And I always start by taking that top stem off. Some of that outer, when they get a little bit crusty, I'm using a kabocha or kaboka. You can also use butternut here. You can use any yellow winter squash. It's kind of whatever your preference is. And then I'm just gonna peel it. The peeling of it, I mean, having somewhat of a heavy duty peeler, but it's gonna be messy and it's gonna be annoying either way. So I'm gonna go around, I'm just gonna keep peeling it and we're gonna chop it up. It's all peeled. Of course, if you have a little bit of green discoloring still on it, that's okay, it's not a big deal. So just take that off, cut it down the center, and you have the seeds. You can roast these, you can use them. I'm gonna though at least scoop them out for what we're doing. This is one of my favorite squash, and I know they don't really have huge differences. This one I find to be a little bit drier. It's still very sweet, which I like, but I like the drier texture of it, so it holds together better and it doesn't just disintegrate when you're cooking it. And personally, I really like that. So it's one of my favorites to grow, but it's very readily available. So all your grocery stores are gonna have it. You're gonna find it very easily at your farmer's markets or anywhere you go. And I think that's the fun. Don't just always buy the same ones that you're used to. Try all types. Be non-discriminatory when it comes to squash. How we should be in general, so. take it off. Those little ends that I didn't get, I'm just cutting off. And then I'm just gonna dice it up. I'm gonna try to somewhat be a little bit uniform, only because this is not a pureed soup. So squash soups, you've seen me make those, they're pureed. So it doesn't really matter the uniform of it because it's not. But these, you actually might have the pieces in there and see them. So I like them to be a little bit more even. So I'm gonna finish chopping this up and we'll just continue the soup. The onion and the carrot have been sauteing. They're becoming softened, not fully cooked, but now I'm gonna add the pepper. I'm just gonna add it right into the pot, all of it. I'm gonna wait on the squash a little bit while the pepper is sauteing. And I'm kind of pushing that around, just getting it into some of the oil, starting to cook too. I'm gonna start adding some of the spices. So a little bit of cumin, that's a very traditional thing in soups, especially in chilies. And so I love to add some. It can be overpowering pretty quickly, so you don't wanna add too much. Of course, need to have chili powder. Sometimes I make my own, but if you have a good one you like, you can just put it right into it. And then, this is a little bit different, some Mexican oregano, which yes, that is different than just oregano. There's a difference to it and I like it. And what I do, it usually comes in this dried form and has leaves like that. I kind of just try to break it up between my hands and put it in. It breaks it down a little bit more. I also just think it helps jumpstart releasing some of those oils that are in it. I'm gonna stir that around because a lot of spices bloom in oil, which means they open up and their oils come out in it, and then they actually activate almost. So I really like to do that and kind of stir it around. Instantly, I'm getting that hit of chili and oregano, the cumin, which chili powder has some cumin in it, but this is supplemented with extra cumin and I love that. So I'm gonna let that cook just for a little bit more like that. We're gonna check the beans here. As you can see, they're steaming, they're cooking. That's exactly what I want, kind of a low boil. And what I'm checking for is to make sure they're mostly cooked, because if you put them in too early, they won't be. I always find the best way is just to try one. I'm definitely gonna leave them a little bit longer. You could cut this down with canned, but why would you do that to me, guys? Try dried, they're so much better. Now I'm gonna add some tomatoes to the peppers and the carrots and the onion. You can use home tomato sauce, canned tomato sauce. This actually has strained tomatoes, so it has some tomato pieces in it too. And guys, there is still, do you see that? There's still a lot of tomato stuff in there. So do you know what I do? I take a little bit of the liquid. I'm like an old order person. Okay, I'm taking this out and pushing that around, and I'm just kind of trying to get some of that extra tomato goodness out of there, because why? Why would you waste it? Don't waste it. No, only save it all. So I want this to come up to a boil. I'm gonna stir it around. And then into this too, we're gonna add the squash, because the squash needs to cook. It's completely raw. So I'm gonna put the squash in. We got it all ready together. And we're gonna put it right into the pot. I love that this is, to me, a very fall chili. I mean, all chili is fall, but what's fun is you're using what possibly you grew at home, or just that there's a lot of this time of year. And that to me is kind of the best of any soup, is when you can incorporate a lot of those flavors of the season into it. And it just helps kind of use what's in season, what bounty you may have. And now what's kind of different with this, I want some chicken in it. I love to have more of a shredded chicken, so I have whole chicken breasts. And I'm just gonna add them right on top. Pretty simple. I'm gonna put them down into the sauce, and they're gonna kind of braise and cook in that tomato sauce. So the flavors, you know, if you're gonna roast them separately or cook them separately, then a lot of that flavor is gonna be left in whatever pan you're using, but this way, all the flavors are gonna marry, they're all gonna cook together. So I'm gonna slowly let that simmer. I'm gonna let the beans keep cooking, and then all we have to do is put it all together. Pretty simple. The beans have cooked, they're soft, they're delicious, almost creamy, I would say. So you're probably been thinking when I put this together, the chicken is still in there cooking, that this is not quite a soup, it's more of just a thick, heavy stew. I wanna make it more of a soup. That's why I put the chicken stock in with the beans, because we can now add all of that to this chili and put it all together. So it adds more water, it adds more liquid, which is exactly what we want. We can stir that together. Keep in mind the chicken is still cooking, it's not done yet. I'm gonna cook it until the chicken registers at 160 degrees, but now look at that. Now we have what looks like a true chili. You have, the squash isn't ready yet, but you have those beautiful pieces of squash and the pepper and now the beans. So it's just all gonna cook together. The flavors are gonna all come together. The chicken's gonna finish. When it's done, we'll shred it and then add it back. But the house is smelling good and it is feeling cozy. It's perfect. So I have cooked the chili and I pulled the chicken out when it was at 160 degrees, let it cool off slightly, and I'm just pulling it apart with 2 forks. You can also just cut it up, but I kind of like that rustic look of it just pulled apart. I think it's kind of nice. You get your regular pieces of it. It's still warmed through, but now here when I get done, I'm just gonna add it back to the chili. I'm gonna let it kind of sit a little bit, but usually I would say let it sit back in the chili on a low simmer just for like, 5-10 minutes just to make sure all that chicken is warmed through, but we're friends here, so we don't have to do that for each other. But look at that chili. This is when I wish you could do smell-o-vision, which I know everyone says that and it's probably annoying because it's like, yeah, well, thanks, we can't. Totally get it, but guys, it smells so good. You get the chili right away, that chili powder, but then you also get those hints of oregano. And it's all just kind of melting together, which I love. And it has that warm, cozy appeal, but it's not just like your normal average chili. You see the green pepper in there, you get that beautiful squash. Look at that. And the wonderful, generous pieces of chicken. I love that too. I love that you can switch chili up. You can make it your own. You can make it whatever you want. Kind of the flavor profile that you're maybe looking for. Oh, how does that not just look good? It has, to me, and you know what? There are probably schools of thought on this. I don't care because I like what I like. I like a thick, chunky chili. I like one that has a lot of oomph to it. I don't like it really watery. I want it to be avocado to me with chili, especially with this Southwestern vibe. And I like that there's, I'm just gonna try. That's so good. It kind of just like warms you all the way down, kind of warms your soul. It's really comforting. It's also really healthy. It's really hearty. You get the protein on it from the chicken, but also beans. You get the sweetness of the squash. And with the tomato and chili base. Guys, this chili, it's so good. Totally worth trying. Just have simmer on your stove. It does not take that long to squash quickly. And you know what? I think you're gonna love it. And I am so excited for you guys to see it. I'm so excited for you to share it around. I love when you share videos because that helps me so much and it helps me bring you more videos. So share it, tag people in the comments that need to see it, and check the website because guess what? I have one, wiseguide.com. We'll always plug that because that's where you can find the recipe and print it off. How easy is that? And there's tons of other recipes. So just hang out. It's like you're just hanging out with me on there.